Yar, ye land-dwelling scurvy dogs, 'tis I, Captain Girthy McLongschlong, and I'm here to regale ye with stories of Seagullmen, Orcas, giant squids, and abominations so evil even the heartiest of men would turn insane. Join me as we take a look at the legend of the Seagullmen. Yar, yar, yo-ho-ho, bottle of rum, pirate's life for me, generic pirate speech, etc., etc. What has my life come to? 30 quid. 30 quid on this. Welcome back to another edition of Rambling On. I'm free to be who I be. I'd like to quickly thank Captain Girthy there for doing the intro. It was me! And this week's Rambling On review is a great one. This is Legend of the Seagullmen. Now, I'd like to say right from the off, this is a fun album. Not a comedy album, not a novelty album, but a fun album, a very fun album, full of nautical themes, conjuring up images of John Carpenter's The Fog, Spielberg's Jaws, and of course Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a very cinematic album, which makes perfect sense when you learn of its gestation. The storm is starting to get quite bad now. Wind's picked up, starting to snow. I think I'm going to have to take some refuge in the forest. I'm proud to be English, but sometimes the weather just gets too much. The burden of the beard. I'm going to take this quick respite from the storm and introduce our cast of characters. We've got Brent Hinds from Mastodon, of course, on guitar. Danny Carey from Tool on drums. You have David Dreyer, or Dreyer, I'm not sure. He plays the good doctor and teller of tales. He's the vocalist of the album. Jimmy Haywood, integral part of the band. He is guitar and vocals. Pete Griffin on bass, who's also from Death Clock. Chris DiGiovanni on analog synths and pianos, and Dom Lewis on cello, piano and orchestration. Now, I mentioned earlier this album has a very cinematic feel to it, which makes perfect sense. I can't remember the year, but it was around about the time of the Crack the Sky album. Brent Hinds made a cameo in the movie Jonah Hex. Blink and you'll miss it cameo. And that movie was directed by Jimmy Haywood, who plays guitars and sings backing vocals in Legend of the Seagullmen. He also directed Horton Hears a Who, and I think before that he was an animator on Toy Story. So quite a history in Hollywood. I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing their collaboration started when they worked with each other on that album. Yeah, this album has a very, it conjures up all sorts of imagery. It's drenched in atmosphere and sound effects, and I think it's clear to see, surely by the pedigree of musicians that's involved in this, that it's top rate music. This isn't comedic. This isn't comedically put together music. Oh, I'm negotiating this shit. Okay, so songs. We Are the Seagullmen begins. This is the great intro. The good doctor informing us that they are the Seagullmen. We give it up to the glory of the Seagull God King. It's got kind of a on the road again. I'm on my own again. Not on the road again. Yeah. I'm on the road, dinga 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 dinga. Yeah, it's got that kind of a vibe to it. There's elements of classic rock, hard rock, new wave of British heavy metal. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a straight up metal album by any stretch, but there's definitely elements of metal in it. And anyone who don't be too pretentious when you go into this album. It's a fun album. Just enjoy it, immerse yourself, let yourself go. And Brent Hinds takes us out of this song with a fantastic solo. He's got some great solos all over this. It's so heartfelt what he does. Next, The Fogger. The Fogger is up next. Starts out, as did the first track, with creaking boards and sea rolling, the storm rolling around. Real atmospheric. And begins with a fading in, menacing riff that wouldn't be out of place on a Mastodon album. I'm guessing this is Brent's handiwork on this particular riff. Very. Some of the lyrics on this one: he rips the faces from our heads, he rips the skeletons from inside. Great imagery on this album. And another one: get on your fucking knees, close your eyes and feel the beast. Got some amazing drum fills, some drum rolls from Danny, before going into another really impressive solo from Brent. I think this is probably his standout solo on the album. Really enjoy this song, really fun. Just a great, a lot of great imagery. Third song, Ship's Wreck. Ship's Wreck, one word. Ship's Wreck, not. This starts out with a very. I mentioned John Carpenter earlier. This starts out with a very eerie synth that could have easily been on one of John Carpenter's 80s movies, on one of his soundtracks. A lot of the reverb on the drums works very well as well. A very 80s feel to this intro. Alright, there was a review I read of this where somebody said that there's a very wet quality to a lot of the instruments. I kind of know what he means. There's a very damp feeling to the drums, kind of a squib that works very well. This, oh, so good. Stop gushing. Yeah, definitely a new wave of British heavy metal feel to this riff. In fact, the riff it reminds me in feel of kind of Maiden's Wrathchild. Yes, the good doctor informs us that X marks the spot where the seagulls fly. And X marks the spot wherever you die. I really enjoy his vocals. They're kind of comedic, but they've got enough gravitas that they really sell the story. You're really hooked on the story in this. Great use of synth in this track. Really good atmospherics. Curse of the Red Tide. Now we get into what has to be surely one of the best songs on this album. Curse of the Red Tide. This is the good doctor yet again narrates us through this story of it's almost like I guess it's kind of like creeping death in many ways. A curse or a plague that scours the land, killing everything. It comes in the middle of the night. It burns your eyes inside. Next up we have the title track itself, Legend of the Seagullmen, and this reminds me very much of Damned, The Damned. The vocals especially remind me very much of Dave Vanian. Good song, fun song. The good doctor once again explaining that that's right, this is entertainment. We don't know why, we can't explain it. It's the legend, the power of the Seagullmen. I love the pomp on this album. There's the exclaiming of who they are, and there's an almost kind of Tenacious D quality in many ways. This just sort of You know, we are the best. We are awesome. I love that. It's a very uplifting album, I find. Next up we have the Orca, and I think if I'm reading there are no lyrics included with the album, which is a bit of a shame. Most of it you can, there was a certain words I couldn't quite get on this song, but I think it's from this is from the, oh God, get on with it. The Orca. This song is written from the guise of an orca in captivity at a theme park, I'm guessing. Starts out with a gorgeous 12-string acoustic before being accompanied by electric guitar that's drenched in reverb and echo and chorus and delay, which gives it a real feeling of sonar, which works really well with the song. The orca waits for the day to come, thin glass walls of aquarium. He becomes the orca lord of war. The orca never sleeps at night. He's a killer. Fun song. Really enjoyed this one. Oh yeah, another great one. Rise of the Giant Squid. Man, I love the lyrics on this song. Yeah, as you can imagine, it's all about a giant squid, as is very common in nautical stories and nautical lore. I think that's where the Kraken and Leviathan, no, the Leviathan's the whale. I think that's where the maybe the legend of the Kraken originates, is through giant squid. Yeah, just to give you some of the lyrics. With her giant fucking eyes and her 90-foot reach, she sets her sights on Hollywood Beach. Untold destruction, no fear of defeat, inflicting murder on everyone she meets. And another great expressive solo from Hinds. Again, the musicianship is just absolutely stellar. Oh, but this doesn't build up to my... fuck off. Now we come to the final track on the album. It's only 31 minutes, this album. But the last track is Ballad of the Deep Sea Diver. And I know there were demos of this that got leaked 2 or 3 years ago. I think maybe with Shipwreck. So maybe a lot of you might have heard this one already. I mean, lyrically, this is just following a deep sea diver. The instrumentation, the orchestration on this song that really gets me. Starts off like a spaghetti western. You could easily hear this on The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. You know, got that very Ennio Morricone style soundtrack vibe. As we go through the song, it morphs into this Hans Zimmer-esque, just glorious cinematic strings and orchestration that could have easily been on one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Got me really charged up listening to this song. I just love the orchestration towards the end of it, which takes us out of the album, ending the album on a real high note. Yeah, also with the Ballad of the Deep Sea Diver, it's worth mentioning that the vocals are very reminiscent of Nick Cave. Could easily hear this on the Murder Ballads album. I mean, as you can probably guess, I give this album a 10 out of 10. I don't give a fuck. I'm sure a lot of people will be, oh, how can you do that? What, a comedy album? It's not a comedy album. This is a good album. This album did what music, I feel, should do. It took me out of myself, took me away from my life for a while, in a good way, and just really took me on a journey. My only complaint is that it's too short. It's 8 songs, 31 minutes, and it's understandable. It's understandable why, because everyone, this is a side project after all. All members of the band have this is not their day job. So it's kind of understandable. It took a lot of time to put this together and get the time to work out songs and make it work. But I can't wait. If you made it this far and you enjoyed this, if it entertained you, if it made you laugh, if you learned anything from it, I thought I heard a clock then. Yeah, if you learned anything from it, if you enjoyed it, if it made you laugh, drop a like, drop a comment and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be doing these things for the ongoing future. Now I'm going to be around for years doing this shit. So if you like what you saw and you're wanting more, subscribe.